Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Cardenas, otherwise, I'll make sure I get this right. This is a note from Diane Brazo. Otherwise known as Babyface Bob, Bobby, Banker Bob, It's All Bob's Fault, Elbow, and Nice Guy. Those are some of the nicknames that I got when we were on our trip to Uganda. Father Jerry had a few, but we've been promised not to share them because what happens in Uganda stays in Uganda. So, last November, my wife Monica asked me about going to Uganda. And before she even got the words out, my immediate response was no, absolutely not. I had no desire to go to Uganda. But she planted the seed in my head. She's a smart woman. And over the next several weeks, I reflected on that decision, wondering why I had said no so quickly. And during that time, I began to focus more on the opportunity and the adventure that had presented to me to go and visit our neighbors in Uganda. And I chose to conquer my fears. And I'm so glad and so thankful that I did. Because this trip was one of the most incredible experiences of my life in so many ways. And there's some I can't share them all with you today because if you watched the Brett Favre thing last night, we could be here all day. So we won't do that. But one of the prime examples were the relationships that we formed over there. And not just with, like I shared with you this letter, not just with the Brazos or Kate Myers or Father Jerry or my wife, but also with people over there. And in particular for me, was getting to know Father John Bosco, who is the pastor at Our Lady Queen of Apostles. And we spent a lot of time with him because he was our driver. His nickname was Mario Andretti. If you don't know, Google it. And he would drive us all over. And so to visit the farms and the different parts of Uganda. So on day 2, we visited his sister who had a small shop in Kampala. And it's one of those open-air markets, so it's a little 10 by 10 shop that she had. And each of us bought something, and then afterward, we went to lunch. And at lunch, Father John mentioned that was the first time he'd ever been to his sister's shop. Now, I come from a large family, lots of brothers and sisters, so when someone says something like that, I can't help myself but tease, right? So I said to him, I said, so, since this is the first day you've ever been to your sister's shop, you bought something today, right? And he just looked at me like, with this start on his face, and then this huge grin came on his face, and he just leaned back in his chair and he was laughing so hard that he'd been busted for not buying anything at his sister's shop that day. But that was the epitome of what our trip was like. It was just filled with so many laughs, so much joy, and at the end of the trip, I knew I had a friend now in Uganda that I'm so proud to tell people about, that Father John Bosco, who's the pastor of Our Lady Queen of Apostles, is truly my friend. And in fact, we're still texting back and forth. In Uganda, if you have a phone, you use WhatsApp. Again, if you don't know what that is, ask your kids. But it's essentially a texting app. So we text back and forth. And before I came up here, I told him that I was going to be up here. And he just wanted me to let you know that he loves all of you, he prays for all of you, and he wants to thank you for all your support. And this is pretty incredible that we nowadays can talk to people immediately in Uganda, which when this twinning relationship started with them, I mean, it took a long time to get information back and forth, and now it's instantaneous. So we can find new ways to help them because they can we can have that communication so immediate. But also from Father Jerry and the rest of us, just to thank you for all the items you donated, the financial support you gave us during Lent, all your prayers. It meant so much to us, and we carried all that with us to Uganda, and everyone there was so grateful for everything that we gave. So I just want to leave you with, if you ever have the chance in the future to go on this trip, to go to Nkokinjiro and meet our friends at Our Lady Queen of Apostles, don't be like I was in the beginning. Don't let your fear deprive you of this incredible experience, because it was one filled with joy, laughter, and amazing relationships that I will cherish forever. And I'm so glad I had this opportunity. Thank you very much.